Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years. We're dedicated to delivering quality auto parts, expert customer service, fast and free shipping, all backed by our 100% satisfaction guarantee. So visit us at 1AAuto.com, your trusted source for quality auto parts.
So in order to start this project, we're going to go ahead and loosen the wheel, the lug nuts here. We're going to use a breaker bar with a 19mm socket. So next we're going to go ahead and raise and support your vehicle. You can use a jack and jack stands. In this case here, we're using a lift to make it a little bit easier. We'll just go ahead and remove the lug nuts here, just by using that socket, because we've already loosened those. With the lug nuts removed, we can now go ahead and remove the wheel and tire. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove the brake caliper and the bracket assembly as one complete unit. So to go ahead and start that, we can use a basic C-clamp. And what you want to do is use the C part, put on the inside of the brake pad area, okay? And then bring this backside and put it on the backside of the caliper. Be sure not to catch the hard brake line right there. Now you don't have to crank it in too far. You just want to apply some pressure. And as you start to tighten it, you can actually see the space between the caliper itself and the pad push in. You just want to do it a little bit. Back up. You want to do it to the lower half. This will actually release the tension on the caliper, pushes a little bit of brake fluid back up into the system. You can see that this is moving pretty freely right now because a lot less tension on there. So on the back side, you have a large bolt right here and one right on the bottom. There's only two of them holding this on, and we're actually going to use an 18mm to go ahead and remove those. And once you get those loose, you can go ahead and use a ratchet. Okay, so we're getting these bolts pulled out. All right, so you want to hold on to this caliper and the bracket. It is a heavy unit. Now you want to be prepared, have either a bungee cord or a strap. You want to pull this off, it should slip right off with your brake pads, caliper, and the bracket. And you want to anchor this somehow back up to the suspension of the chassis so it doesn't fall down. All right, once you pull off the caliper and the bracket, your rotor can slip right off. In some cases, you might find that your disc brake backing plate here might be rusted, as is ours down below here. Some of them are much worse, where it's all rotted and your whole bracket or shield might be missing. So let's go ahead and we're going to show you how to go ahead and remove this. We're going to use a simple 8mm wrench, okay? Now these here, because of the age and the rust, you know that it's been out there in the weather for a long time. So we're gonna start to apply a little bit of heat to this here. It's gonna help us loosen these bolts. You don't want these to break off inside the knuckle because that just opens up much more work for you. Always be aware of what is behind what you're heating up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on and we're gonna use a hammer. And usually, by tapping it and pressing down, we'll actually shock the rust a little bit, break it free. There we go. Okay. You can work it a little bit. Go ahead and remove that. We're going to do the same for the other two and get this shield removed. Like I said, you want to make sure and be aware of the surroundings, the backing plate. And then you have your rubber boot right here for your outer tie rod end. This will melt quickly, so be careful when heating this up. Always have a fire extinguisher or something to extinguish a fire in case one should occur. Okay, we're going to do the same here. And that one is coming out nice. And the same for the lower. just going to go ahead and remove these here. If you want at this time, you can go ahead and maybe just give a little bit of water on those there. You can see you don't want to be putting your hands on that. That's not going to be good. And as you see here, we're able to salvage all 3 pieces of the hardware. Here's the backing plate. Ours isn't too bad. We're going to go ahead and reinstall this one here, but you can see your 3 mounting points. One right here, one on the bottom, and then one on the top. So this is something you can do in your driveway. You will be required to pull the wheel off. So now we're going to go ahead with the reinstallation of this component. Get the top one started. I'm going to go right to the bottom here and get that one started. And then we're going to go ahead and install the last one. We're just going to snug these up. You're just holding a piece of sheet metal in place, so it's not going to require a lot of pressure for that. And up for the last bolt. So now we're going to go ahead and reassemble the brakes. So we're going to take the original rotor, we're going to install this component here. And next we want to go ahead and take that caliper, slide that right back on over here. Just going to thread in the 2 bolts into the back side here. So we're using an 18mm socket with ratchet to go ahead and snug this up. All right, so we're gonna take the 18mm socket and put it on the torque wrench, and then we're gonna tighten this to 136 foot-pounds. All right, we're gonna go ahead and reinstall the tire. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the lug nuts here. You want to get a few threads caught on all of these here. These lug nuts are a 19mm. So we're just going to snug these, bottom it out, bottom the wheel out to the rotor. We're going to lower the vehicle down onto its own weight and then do a final torque. With the vehicle on the ground, we're going to do its final torque of the wheel, which is between 83 and 112 foot-pounds. We're going to do it in a star pattern. Before test driving the vehicle, you want to start the engine and pump the brakes a few times. This will reseat the brake pads and compress the calipers.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.